So for status epilepticus, one, you start with a diazepam. Dunga ya diazepam alale. Remember, diazepam is a drug that is a sedative, a hypnotic, anxiolytic, so lowers anxiety, lowers your brain function, you start sleeping, gets you into hypnosis. And that's why the drugs in this group of benzodiazepines are actually used by ladies to sedate men so that they can steal from you in a bar. Those ladies along Thika Road, they put the mchele. Mchele is actually part of this group. It's called a benzodiazepine. Mchele is flunitrazepam. Go and look at that name, flunitrazepam, which is rohypnol, okay? So rohypnol is the mchele. Put in alcohol, it is very soluble in alcohol, and then it gets you speaking the truth. You speak your truth, and then you get so sedated, and you're so calm, and the only thing you do is put on that condom, and boom, your house is emptied. Tomorrow in the morning, you're there sobering up after 8 hours of soberness. Then you're like, ha! As you yawn, there's an echo. The house is empty. You did not do what you wanted to do with that lady. At least they put that condom on you, so you did not do anything. You ended up having a house that has been swept off. Everything has been swept off. Even your M-Pesa, and as you wake up, there is still messages coming in of withdrawals. You're like, so my somebody is withdrawing your money in Kariobangi, and you drank in Thika, blend Thika, and now somebody in Kariobangi is doing his thing. So yeah, be very cautious about this, because that's a benzodiazepine, okay? So yeah, we start with the benzodiazepine, then we follow up with phenytoin and phenobarbital injections. This one, because remember, this one is somebody who is in status epilepticus, is convulsing, so there's no way you can give them oral medication because they can't swallow. And then now, if diazepam has failed, and then the phenobarbital and phenytoin has failed, now we move to an anesthetic agent. Imagine an inhalation anesthetic. Imagine you have to be sedated so perfectly and so strongly with an anesthetic agent, as though you're going to the theater. So your convulsions are so powerful that we have to sedate you as though you're going to the theater for a surgery. For you to just sleep, like we clean your system, we actually make sure your system is going low totally. And now you can rest. When you rest, you wake up being a better person. So this is what is happening. We are not actually suppressing the convulsions as such. We're not actually helping you to come out of the epilepsy and the seizures. We are just sedating you so that you don't overreact. Do you see the reality about it? Sedatives. We are giving you sedatives to cause you hypnosis. So we sedate you, and then we cause you hypnosis, and then anesthesia. We start by sedating you. You feel so drowsy and all that. And then we bring the sleep. You sleep deeply. As though sleep is not enough, we have to induce anesthesia. Now it's like you're going to the surgery, to the theater. So we are only trying to make sure that you don't overreact, you don't jerk, you don't get all these things. And then we relax your brain. But we are not fixing what caused the overreacting brain. You see the problem? So if you don't fix the causes, you will keep on fixing the symptoms. Convulsions and those falling and those jerky movements are actually symptoms of overreacting neurons. And we've said what causes overreacting neurons, and nobody's targeting that. Nobody's telling you, hey, when you recover, simply go and have a fresh air. Stop sitting in an SC office every time. Take some time off the cities. Go to the villages and enjoy fresh air. Nobody's telling you these natural therapies. Nobody's telling you to go and enjoy the sun. Nobody's telling you to drop the alcohol. They will sedate you, you sleep, they cause you anesthesia. When you wake up, you're good. You take about a week, you're back to alcohol, and you come back. Nobody's saying anything. The only thing they'll tell you is, no, there's no problem. It's just in moderation. Alcohol in moderation. Anyway, so drugs for epilepsy, they target three things. From our diagram, let me bring it back so that you get to understand clearly. So those drugs, as you're trying to fix problems in those epilepsy problems, let me do it nicely. So those drugs are targeting these three: the potassium, the chloride, and the sodium. So one, we target to block the influx of sodium. So we have those that block sodium channels. Okay? So now this is where you become a pharmacist. We are blocking the influx of sodium inside the neuron. So they are targeting sodium. They block the sodium channels. And then, because we want this neuron to relax, we pump chlorine in. But we cannot give you chloride to pump it in. What we do is we activate GABA. You remember our GABA? And GABA is the one that opens up the chloride channel so that chlorine flows into the nerve cell. So now we have drugs that activate the neurotransmitter GABA. And this is where the diazepine are. The benzodiazepines are here. They open up channels for chloride so that chlorine flows into the cell and therefore the cell gets to relax. This is also where the group of drugs that are called barbiturates are. Barbiturates, examples are phenobarbital. Those that end with tone. The most important one in that group is phenobarbital because you know it. Okay? So these ones activate GABA. We pump chloride in, we neutralize this, and then we cause hyperpolarization and deactivation. Once you cause that deactivation, the nerve relaxes, the seizures disappear. But that is temporary. The third part, which is the most important one, is after enhancing GABA, you're pushing chloride in. Now, this neurotransmitter that is called GABA has to come from somewhere. It is stored in the vesicles. There are things that the pockets that are called vesicles. So for these vesicles to contract, to release the GABA, the neurotransmitter, they need an element. They need an element called calcium. Calcium causes the contraction of these vesicles and they eject the GABA, the neurotransmitter. Once you release the neurotransmitter, and then now you go back to this system so that the neurotransmitter now opens up chloride channels and then this happens. The neutralization happens, okay? So 3 groups of drugs in epilepsy. One are the sodium channel blockers. They block sodium from going into the cell. 2 are those that activate chloride channels. They open up the chloride channels to neutralize the sodium. And these are the ones that activate GABA. Benzodiazepines, barbiturates are also here. There's another one called topiramate. There's another one called lamotrigine. Okay? These are, I don't want to mention the trade name so many times. I want you to know, if you're taking a drug, if you're taking any medicine, on that medicine, there's that bigger name that has an R, the trade name. And then under that name, there's a small name that's the generic name. For example, if you have a pack of Panadol or Panadol Extra, that word Panadol Extra is the trade name. Do not even care about that. That is not the active ingredient. That's the name that is given by the factory. Under it, there is a small name that is called paracetamol. So you'll see each tablet of Panadol Extra contains 500 milligrams of paracetamol. So paracetamol is the active ingredient. But Panadol Extra is not the active ingredient, it's the trade name. The company uses that for its own purposes. So if you use that Panadol Extra, they come for you. But if you use paracetamol, it's universal. So when I'm mentioning lamotrigine, when I'm saying carbamazepine is famously known as Tegretol. When I'm talking about the generic names, I'm talking about carbamazepine, I'm talking about phenobarbital, I'm talking about phenytoin, I'm talking about lamotrigine, I'm talking about a drug that most of the people who have diabetes use to manage their neuropathic pain. So look at it this way. You have diabetes, and one of the causes of epilepsy and the seizures is, olanzapine is an antipsychotic. It's a second generation antipsychotic. It's not an anti-epileptic. No, it's not. Okay, it's an antipsychotic. Now, look at it this way. You have diabetes, which can expose you to seizures. Because remember, we said one of the roles or one of the causes of seizures or convulsions is actually glucose intolerance. So you are unable to metabolize glucose. So you either have high glucose or low glucose. So you have diabetes, you have a chance to get the seizures. And then these sugars, they cause you nerve problems. They destroy the nerves. So double tragedy. And then you cannot feel the pain. And if you feel the pain, the nerves are so sensitive. So you end up having a lot of pain, the neuropathic pain. And then guess what? You're given a drug that is called gabapentin. I know. Or pregabalin. Most of you are given that drug, pregabalin. Some of you are given gabapentin. If you are clean, you will know gabapentin. What does the name gabapentin start with? It starts with GABA. Gabapentin. Did we talk about GABA? Yes, we said GABA is an inhibitory neurotransmitter. So that drug called gabapentin can actually help in seizures also. The other one is pregabalin. Pregabalin. These names can actually direct you to the mode of action. So they all activate this GABA and they pump chloride into the nerve, inside the nerve, they neutralize, causing hyperpolarization or deactivation, and now pain disappears, and now seizures disappear. So therefore, some drugs that are used for epilepsy are used for pain also. Pregabalin, the word is pregaba, and then lin, and then gabapentin. Now you know the mode of action of these drugs. So you don't even need to cram the drugs. You need to know the concepts, how these drugs are working. Once you know how these drugs are working, you easily know how to reverse them. Amitriptyline is an antidepressant. It's not an anticonvulsant. It's an antidepressant. Okay? Yeah, we talked about depression and we mentioned it. And amitriptyline is another one that is abused with people who chew miraa. They abuse it to get sleep. This is also abused by mothers who give their children who bedwet. They feed their children bad diets, they are unable to hold urine, and they urinate in beds, and now they are given amitriptyline. Okay? Amazing. So once you have understood the mode of action, it's easy for you to know. Now, there are just two types of medication. The ones that block the sodium channel and the one that activate the chloride channel. The ones that activate the chloride channel are the ones that activate GABA. It's that simple. So we don't want to go into details of this, but I want to know these drugs can actually be used for different actions. One, we've said some are sedatives like diazepines, some are hypnotics. So those that are sedatives, under high doses, you can end up getting sleep. That is hypnosis. And then you have anxiolytics, they lower anxiety. Okay? My friends, the stigma that is around epilepsy. Imagine somebody falling down, you urinate on yourself, and then people start running away from you because they're thinking you are cursed, you're an outcast, you are bewitched. Your mother is actually cursing you because she's thinking, why did God give me such a kid? Yet she's the one who is feeding you bad things. And then everybody is blaming the other. Your father is blaming your mother. Oh, this is in your genes. Our people don't have epilepsy. And your mother is like, no, ours don't also have epilepsy. This must be your genes. So everybody now it breaks families because of one child. And imagine if that child is the firstborn. The excitement that is coming with the bouncing baby boy. Then 2 years down the line, boom, epileptic. Now the child has to take these drugs for a lifetime because of the mistakes that were being done through just simple diets, poor lifestyles. Levodopa and carbidopa, no, those ones are not anti-epileptics. Levodopa and carbidopa, you see just from the word dopa, dopamine. They augment dopamine, so they actually excite. These ones suppress. The levodopas excite because they give you the dopamine. So remember we said you move from sedatives to hypnotics to anxiolytics to anti-seizures to loss of memory. So therefore, a side effect of these drugs is actually loss of memory, right? And possibly that's the reason why they think that when you have epilepsy and you're in these drugs, your intellectual ability is actually compromised. So they'll blame the epilepsy, the seizures. They say, oh, your seizures are the reasons why you are intellectually challenged. But we know that they are the drugs that are actually suppressing the CNS and bringing you all these problems. So if the drugs are causing you amnesia, we call it retrograde or selective amnesia. So selective amnesia. You forget things selectively. And then they blame it on the disease instead of blaming it on the drug. But this is not a disease, it's a condition. There's a difference, okay? And then of course, muscle relaxant, they relax the muscles and you feel good about it. And then now anesthesia. So by the time you're getting to anesthetic state, you are ukopabaya. If a seizure lasts 20 minutes, that one is now status epilepticus. We say they reclassified it and put it to 5 minutes. Okay? Yeah. Hey, don't forget others who are on high doses and still not working, e.g. 400 milligrams of carbamazepine twice a day and phenobarb 60 milligrams nocte and 30 milligrams in the morning. And then we keep alternating with epilim. Thank you so much. This is Bube Agnes. This is a nurse. Yeah, somebody said there are a lot of nurses and doctors on this platform. Yes, they will come here, wanachungulia kidogo alafu wanapotea. Wanachungulia kidogo wanapotea. When you come into deeper conversations, doctors don't want to come and have this conversation. They don't. They want to sit back. Yes. So yes, imagine, and I think these chronic conditions are actually a cash cow for the pharmaceutical companies. Because one, you will take home a lot of drugs. A lot of drugs. Number two, you will take home a lot of side effects. Number three, you will take home a lot of drugs that will treat a lot of side effects which were caused by a lot of drugs. Imagine that platform, that chain. That is a circus that needs to end. You're there and the doctor is reading the guidelines, just writing Phenobarb, 30 milligrams. When they calculate your weight is a little high, they add you more drugs. What they don't know is they are giving you drugs that are going to cause you weight gain. Look at people who have psychosis, the antipsychotics. They add you so much weight. And when they add you much weight, they give you more doses of the drug because you're adding weight. So more weight. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Yeah? Epileptic children growing obese. And when you grow obese, what do? We calculate the weight, we calculate the dosage, we add you more drugs. So now you're taking more than 3 tablets of one drug. Imagine you taking 400 milligrams of carbamazepine, and then you added 60 milligrams of phenobarbital, and then you're taking these drugs in the morning and the evening. How consistent can you be? You will even get tired. If people who have diabetes get tired of those drugs, and now this is a child who has to take these drugs for a lifetime because you've told this child, one, your disease has no known cause. So I don't know what I'm treating as a doctor. It has no known cause. Number two, you went ahead and told them, oh, this is in the genes, this is genetics. So therefore we cannot change your genes. These are genes and you have to live with the genes, right? Number three, that don't worry about the side effects. You will get some dizziness here and there. And if you get some dizziness here and there, you will still be okay. Just take the drugs again. And these children have to work. They have to be independent. They go into heavy machineries, and now they are dozing off, and the machine pulls the tie, and now boom, fingers are cut. This child does not have a hand now. How will he be independent? Not because of the convulsion, no. It's because of the drugs, the side effects of the drugs. So why don't we focus so much effort on telling these people about nutritional benefits than telling them about drugs that we don't even know the side effects? Most doctors, even pharmacists, don't know the mode of action of these drugs. I can tell you for free. This is a conversation that in the health class, in the pharmacy class, it's not so appealing. It's not so delicious. We don't want it. We want it to go. When you're talking about mode of action of drugs, pharmacodynamics, pharmacokinetics, we don't want it to make sense. We just want to cram. The child is falling. Let's put him on lamotrigine. Oh, grand mal, let's give him phenobarbital. Oh, phenytoin is causing a cleft palate in children. No problem. We can substitute phenytoin with now epilim. You know very well. Now you have this child who has an enlarged jaw. They look like the problems that are coming with phenytoin, which is a first-line drug in epilepsy in children. Now the cleft palate. This child has a very bad palate, very extended and protruding jaws, and now we have to put them on other drugs to prevent the side effects of that one. Or we just change the drug to another one that acts the same way through activation of GABA. Do you see? Very, very clear correlations with the diabetes one. We just change the drug, but acts the same way. We give you another drug to just mask. That one gave you these symptoms. Oh, that gave you these side effects. No problem. Let's withdraw this. Let's give you another new drug that will give you different side effects, but act the same way. So you're not going to heal. Of course, we started by convincing you and selling you the fear that it is genetic and we don't know what we are treating. It has no known cause. They call it idiopathy. When you walk into a consultation room and your doctor tells you, oh, no, this is no known cause, idiopathic, this is in the genes. That doctor is trying to run away from the reality. Genes play a 2 to 10% roles in health diseases. And one day I'll be vindicated on that one. 2 to 10% roles. Where were the genes 70 years ago? Where were they? They just woke up one day, boom, and now we have genes for epilepsy. And now imagine you have the genes. But if your brother falls here and convulses, you are running away. You don't want to skip that urine because you will become epileptic. Look at that. This is the genes. It is in your genes. But you're running away from your brother, convulsing. Hey, nikiruka mkojo ya mtu ambaye na convulse, I'll get epilepsy. And this is the same genes that you have. You're carrying the same genes, but you're running away from this. Who told you you'll survive? By just running away. These are myths. These are crazy stuff. And they are put in the syllabus and masked so well that you cannot see them until somebody who is inside that system sees it for you and then tells it to you.